Good morning, I'm Kensei and welcome to Dragontrek. It's 5 o'clock and I'm night hiking. Well, it's not as dark as it were last time I night hike. I can basically see where I'm going without the headlamp. See you at or after sunrise. Okay, so I didn't need the headlamp today. I started early because it's a 12-mile day. Okay, so this is the trail right now, and because it rained so much yesterday, the branches are heavy and bowing over the path, and walking into them will get you wet. So I've tried to use my trekking poles to push them out of the way, and the foliage that is shorter, closer to the path, has made sure that my shoes and socks are wet. I was less able, I didn't even consider that at the time, to do something about that. Same thing when I went to get water this morning. Fortunately, the other hiker in the shelter lent me his Seanock bag so that I could get water faster and easier than if I had used my own Sawyer bag. For that I am grateful. See, foliage is trying to bend in over the trail. So far, no direct sunlight, which is good, which keeps the temperature to something more tolerable. My feet could do with being drier and warmer. The rest of me enjoys this. Not sure if you can see it on camera, but there's a bird singing. Looks like we have a bit of an obstacle course here in Connecticut too. Okay, let's deal with this. And no, okay. That was not as high as I had hoped. I had to bend over more than I really wanted to get beneath that branch. I don't know, it's never been in the jungle, but this sort of gives me a jungle feel. Maybe because there is vegetation everywhere, close to the trail, and it's summer rather than spring. See, we have all these plants growing close to the trail. Right here I can avoid them pretty easily, but now I walk into them. It's difficult to avoid. Yesterday was really warm. I was told it was 90 degrees, and when I came to the shelter, all my clothes were soaked. My belt was even soaked. Fortunately, I had dry clothes to put on. I came to camp early enough that I could get all my stuff dry. My socks, on the other hand, were dry and warm all day yesterday. Not anymore. We've barely started and my socks are already wet. A new day, a new challenge. And yesterday's challenges are past. You have to focus on the evolution at hand and do what needs to be done to get through whatever problem faces you in the moment. I told you about my shoes and socks and feet getting wet. This is our stuff growing in the middle of the trail. And as you walk through that, the water it is holding transfers to your shoes, then to your socks, and then your feet. Some views. Then we come to the conundrum of today. The hiker that stayed in the same shelter as me yesterday caught up to me. He started an hour later than me. He normally hikes 2 miles per hour, and I normally hike 1 mile per hour. And according to my Far Out app on an Android, I have walked approximately 4 miles. According to his Far Out app on an iPhone, he has walked close to 6 miles. And that is weird, because we've hiked the same trail. The visuals on the iPhone and the Android are different. He bought his Far Out app earlier than I did, so there may be a version thing. And the fact that Android and iPhone should show the trail being of different lengths, it is weird. According to his Far Out, the shelter is approximately 6 miles away. According to my Far Out, is approximately 8 miles away. I mean, I hope he is right, because I'd rather walk another 6 miles than another 8. But I have to go with what's on my app, because that's what I can control, that's what I can see. So it is weird. Okay, if anyone has any theories or knows why there should be a difference in these cases, let me know. Okay, and just to give you some clues of where to look. Yesterday I started at Connecticut Route 4 where it intersected with Appalachian Trail. I hiked about 6 miles and camped in a shelter. I don't remember the name, Pine Swamp or something, I don't know. And according to me, I've hiked about 4 miles from that point, and according to him, he has hiked about 6 miles from that point to the same point. And for some reason, there's a 2-mile discrepancy. Either it's a version thing, and that one of us has an old trail, and the distance between the shelter and where we were is 2 miles shorter or 2 miles longer compared to, so that is one. The second is that when they made the app, they did something is not working as intended. If you know, please let me know. I'd love to have this conundrum solved. When there are barren rocks, I usually hike on the rocks for leave no trace reasons, but it rained yesterday, and some rocks I stepped on have been kind of slippery, or maybe it's the soles of my shoes that are slippery, but I'm right now trying to find a good place, which is usually not on the rocks, where I get a better grip. Oh, it sounded like someone was behind me. Vegetation changes after having spent most of the day in a jungle-like environment. This is not. I met about 8 hikers going southbound. They were Boy Scouts, some of them adults, obviously, camping or hiking the Appalachian Trail, but they were only out for 2 nights. And this is a good place to be a Boy Scout. I mean, I'm at Belter's Bump. The views aren't that great, but there are a little bit of views through the trees. I just ran into 2 people hiking southbound. They were only going to do that for a day or 2 more, and then they were going to go north back to their car by boat down the river, and they were carrying their inflatable boats with them. It sounds awesome. I'm sure they will have a wonderful time. A little while back there was some sudden movement in the vegetation. I could hear branches move, leaves move, and from the amount of, it sounded like I had scared some animal away, and from the amount of noise it made, I estimate it could be something the size of a bear cub. I find this intriguing. There's barbed wire going off in that direction, and in that direction. I can't see how far, I can't say how long it's been there, but there is definitely a path through. Maybe it was private property, maybe it still is private property, maybe there's animals they don't want to cross. I don't know. There's an arrow there. Does that mean the Appalachian Trail goes in that direction? Okay, let's assume it does, and cross the street. Hope that I don't get killed. They even have a sign that says the hikers beware. That looked a little jungly too. Where am I supposed to go there? Ooh, my shoes are going to get wet again. Okay. Welcome to Appalachian Trail lands. These lands are being farmed to maintain the historic pastoral setting along the trail. Active insect and weed management is utilized on agricultural fields along the Appalachian Trail to ensure farmers a crop harvest. This includes a periodic use of pesticides consistent with conventional agricultural practices. For your safety and to protect crops from trampling, all hikers and dogs must stay on the Appalachian Trail footpath through these areas during the growing season. Is it growing season? Doesn't look like it's growing season, but the trail is this way, and you hike the trail, not areas on the side of the trail. You hike the trail. Even if it's jungle-like. And I'm assuming we're going to go around this field into those trees, maybe up that hill or mountain, I don't know. But I think the hiker that stayed in the shelter with me said that there wasn't a lot of elevation change today. And we'll see, maybe or not, see if we can find a solution to our Far Out Conundrum. I'm assuming that this is the river those two hikers I talked to were going to boat down. The trail runs parallel to what I believe is US Route 7. But should that be pronounced Housatonic River? Housatonic River? I have no idea. Someone please let me know in the comments. But it's beautiful. Okay. That could be a church or something, maybe a school building. Okay, considering that sign, which I'm assuming talks about children, and the speed limit of 25 miles per hour, this may indeed be a school or something like that. I can't see a trail over there, but I can see the blazes. I'm staying on this side for now. Should I cross? I mean, I don't see a trail there, so I'm assuming that the road is the trail and they have the blazes there because that's where it's convenient. Housatonic Valley regional high school. Okay, so that's a school. I like the looks of that high school. I wonder how many students go there. If the high school was closed for the summer, would they still fly the flag? Respond to that in the comments, because I don't know the rules on that in the US. Dry hydrant number 1. Dry hydrant? I thought hydrants were water hydrants. And what is a dry hydrant? Is that something with dry water? Some sort of foam for fire extinguishing? If someone knows, please let me know in the comments. There's a lot of requests for comments in this video, but we're running into things that I don't know anything about. So I was wondering where the trail would turn right, since I couldn't see anything, and I was looking out for that, wondering where it could be. And then an old man with a dog came walking down here, and I knew where it was. I'm still wondering if I have to cross the railroad tracks or if those turn too, but well, considering what things look like, I'm assuming I have to cross the railroad tracks. Unless, of course, we're hiking on this side of the railroad tracks, because there are railroad tracks. And now we're here. I did not consider that option. No horses. Yes. I looked at Far Out again. I've been looking at it several times. And I realized that today's distance is closer to 13 miles than to 12. We'll probably be done closer to 6 p.m. than 5. And if you hear, that's my fanny pack. I have straps that I haven't closed or fastened, and there's a rock in the middle there for ease of traveling, almost as if there sometimes is water running this way, so that I don't have to get my feet wet. But there's some water there now. In case I haven't mentioned it before, that marker means that the trail turns left. If the upper blaze had been to the right of the lower blaze, it would have meant that the trail turns right, while a single white blaze means you go straight ahead. And that river is not the best looking water feature I've seen on the trail. I would definitely say that the Amicalola Falls take that prize. And it's so unfortunate that was the footage that I lost. I find this interesting. I don't think I've seen it on the trail before, but this says that this portion of the trail is wheelchair accessible, which is nice. And they even have a bench here, which is nice. I might as well make use of it. Whoa! That leaned backwards a little bit too much for comfort. I'm not going to use the bench after all. Since my last recording, I've encountered another 2 dogs. And There are a lot of dogs on the Appalachian Trail, more than I ever expected. I love dogs. The trail is still wide enough and wheelchair accessible, which I think is cool. Make it possible for everybody to see the great outdoors. I can feel in my feet and my ankles that I've been walking. My shoulders have been going back and forth about being pain-free. So sometimes I don't feel anything in my shoulders and sometimes I do. And if we look ahead there on the left, we have the white blaze of the Appalachian Trail. But on the right we have blue blazes going right. And I'm assuming that that's where you have to turn right to continue on the wheelchair accessible trail. Blue blazes can lead you to some different places. It can be a different trail going somewhere else. It can lead you to a water source. It can lead you to a shelter or a campsite. It can lead you to a lookout point. But it's something that is off the trail, and the miles you hike on blue blazes doesn't count against the 2,200 miles to get you from Georgia to Maine. Okay, you are in a high risk area for Lyme disease. Those are ticks. And there are stuff you're not allowed to do on Appalachian Trail lands, like hunting, motor vehicles, no biking, no horses. There's a map of the Appalachian Trail, or at least a portion of it. No, it seems like it could be the whole thing. And can I see where... Okay, Connecticut is, so we should be somewhere around here. That's Hartford. I went by bus through Hartford on my way to the trail, so I'm assuming we're sort of somewhere up in this corner, almost crossing into Massachusetts. Be bear aware, so there's stuff to do there, and leave no trace. Yes, litter lasts this long, so yeah, don't litter. Now we're road hiking again, but this time the blazes are on the left side. 1,500 miles. Not that I walked that far, but it's a mile marker. I just happened to look over the fencing and saw these sticks on the ground, and 1,500 miles. According to my GPS, it's 1,499.9 miles, but who's counting? This is my second 00 mile marker. The first one was 100, and then I skipped ahead here after my illness. That's my second. That looks a little more official. On my GPS it says it's like 0.1 or 0.2 miles beyond 1,500. But you know, I commemorate the unofficial one, so why not this one? Both say 1,500 miles. Both of them are close enough. Woohoo! I'm sure you can hear it, and I hope you can see it, but there's a waterfall behind those trees, and it looks awesome. I hope we can get a better view. This is awesome. Have I said that I love waterfalls? portions of it are unobstructed. That place tells me to turn left up that way. But there is a place there that tells me to go in that direction, which makes me believe this is actually a place for those Sobos, or those who are heading south, to tell them to turn this way rather than that way. So that's all fine and good. And we follow that place here. There's one path there and there's one path there. There are no places indicating which direction we're supposed to follow. Or at least I can't see any. Wait. Ooh, there is one over there. Okay, that was difficult to see. Took me a while to find that. And there's another one, but that couldn't be seen from over where I came from either. So better places, please. Ooh, we're above it, sort of. We don't get very good views from here. Let's put this away. Maybe there's one from above it when we get a little further ahead. Let's see. Looks like it might fall with so little beneath it and just attached to that route going that way. At the last water source, I picked up about 3 pounds worth of water, thinking that would help me in not having to go to a water source after I get to camp, since I can feel in my feet that I've been walking all day. It should be over 10 miles by now, and I have about 3 miles left to camp, including the Blue Blaze, the last little bit. And then I discovered that the water source is on the Blue Blaze on the way to the shelter. I knew I didn't need that much water. I picked it up for convenience sake, and then it's turned out that it was just stupid. Need to remember to check where the next water source is before I make these decisions. Views.
Hi, this is Editing Can Say. Unfortunately, I forgot to shoot an ending of today's hike. So keep on checking.